Update, 2.5 years GF, 27F, discarded me, 34M, to upgrade to my 20 plus years best friend, 34M. TL, DR, I've pretty much recovered from the initial shock of the double betrayal. Once in a while I still get angry when certain objects/locations/memories trigger me, but for the most part, I've forgotten those two garbage even exist. I've been working on myself, reconnecting with friends, and am pretty much in the best shape of my life, hitting the gym, going on lots of dates, making more money, exploring hobbies, and reading a lot. I've done extensive research, and my ex-best friend is a sociopath/narcissist, and my ex-GF is a narcissist. I know these terms have been getting thrown around a lot these days, but that's usually the case with cheaters like these two. They hit just about every bullet point that coincides with the dark triad of psychopathy, narcissism, and Machiavellianism. Basically, I couldn't thank my lucky stars enough, and am absolutely blessed that things unfolded in such spectacular fashion. They excised themselves from my life, they're both dead to me, and I want absolutely nothing to do with them ever again. Now, for the juicy part. First off, apologies to the late update, almost a year later, but the reason for that is because those two betrayers are so irrelevant to me now that I just couldn't really be bothered to write up this short novel. I preface that because the rabbit hole goes deep. It's crazy, literally and figuratively. But with that being said, if you're in for a ride, strap in, and I highly recommend you to brush up on the details on my previous post before diving into this one. We have to set the stage first with some names. Snake, ex-best friend, for known exes, called NA, B, C, D, and my ex-GF, E, but let's make it simple and just keep it my ex-GF. True bro, the one that reported the cheating to me, he's the mutual best friend we both have, or Snake had. Picking off from where I left off. August 28, 2021 D-Day. September 2nd, I get back on the dating apps. December 6th, I run into Snake's ex-GFC, and we match. I haven't seen her since about back in 2016. Quick backstory, I have only met C once, but I remember her face. Snake met this woman on the dating apps and dated her for a few months, before moving on to D. I knew D from a mutual friend gathering, and I was actually interested in dating her, but Snake took over instead and started dating her even though he knew I was interested. Mind you, during this time he was still dating C, so he was two-timing for about a month before breaking up with C and started officially dating D. During all these years, C never truly let go of Snake. She has never dated anyone else since and was still madly in love with Snake and became the stalker type, always calling him, asking to meet up, and he felt bad, so he would take her out to dinner and trips periodically. Snake would always confide in me about how she's constantly reaching out to him. I told him he needed to stop seeing her and let cut all ties with her, because he is essentially wasting her time and stringing her along. End backstory. December 6th, I match with her and started talking to her saying hi, it's been a long time, and she responds with, have you heard from Snake? What's he been up to? And I immediately think, oh, the crazy ex is here we go, but I decided this woman has a right to know how much of an irredeemable piece of shit he is and for her to wake up and move on. So I arrange a meet-up at a restaurant the following day. December 7th, I was nervous as hell as I had no idea what to expect or how to even begin, but before I dropped my bombs to her, we exchanged some brief pleasantries first before I asked her a few questions. Me, when did you two break up? C, like almost a month ago. Me, where was the last trip you two went on? C, back in early July. Conclusion, Snake never broke up with C, he was dating both C and D for the last 4 to 5 years. D was a friend of Truebro, so we always hung out with D. C was the bygone ex from 4 years ago that was dropped in favor of D, except never dropped. Apparently Snake had been living together in an apartment with C all these years. He would spend a few days at C's, or their place, and then a few days at D's place. C had always asked about hanging out with Truebro and me since she hasn't seen us in so many years. Snake had a divide and conquer strategy set up. He would hang out with his college buddies with C, and when it comes to D, he would hang out with us. So about a couple months ago Snake broke up with C, moved out to a new apartment, so he can move in my ex-GF, but his name is still on the lease with C, and he still had keys to the place, so he still periodically comes and goes as he pleases. Snake took C on 2 to 3 day trip to the same exact place our group vacation was headed to a week prior. Turns out Snake likes to do multiple repeat trips with all his women on back-to-back weekends. He took C, D, and my ex-GF to the same places like Disney World/Universal Studios. After we compared notes and pointed out every discrepancy and lie, we parted ways. December 8th, Snake shows up unannounced to C's apartment. C had, the night before, tossed out all the remaining belongings Snake had left. Snake is livid and calls up True Bro to spin some lies about him clearing things up with C, and they are still in a loving friendship, sure. She changes the locks and gets Snake to remove his name from the lease. Mid-deck, C and I decide to visit Snake's dad to report to him what atrocities his son has committed. We both haven't seen his father in years, and it just so happens she knows his address. So we take a shot in the dark and just show up unannounced. The father was ecstatic to see us both. He immediately asked C, "How's the relationship going? When are you two getting married?" and is towards me, "Hey, I haven't seen you in so long, I missed you, how've you been?" Basically, we told him everything his son had done, that not only was he not marrying C, in fact, it's over between them, as he has stolen my GF and currently lives together with her. Needless to say, the father was visibly distraught and devastated. Discoveries and truths uncovered. Snake is not rich at all. His dad is in his mid-70s, retired, and is sending his son $1,000 a month from his own retirement and Social Security benefits to help pay for rent for the apartment with C, which is around $3,500 a month. That's because Snake has never been employed in his life. We thought he was a trust fund baby, except he's just a lazy sack of garbage. C knows Snake does nothing but play video games 24/7, so she is the one paying for the entire rent. Basically, Snake had been using his father's money to wine and dine my ex-GF. Snake's mom is not wealthy, she does alright, but most likely sends him some money as well. Snake has about 10 credit cards that he's maxed out, is in $100,000 debt, and is basically a massive fraud and loser. Snake has graduated from a prestigious Ivy League school with an advanced degree but has never had a job after that, stating that these positions are beneath him, and not enough pay. He wants the best of the best, top 1 percentile salary, where he's not working and wasting his time. He has never had a job since graduating back in 2017. His own father said, "I failed as a father, raised the biggest failure in the family lineage. I never should have come to America, never should have gotten married and had this kid. He's an utter disgrace to the ______ family name." C also asked me for my ex-GF contact info because she thinks my ex-GF got tricked and does not want her to become a victim and go through what she did. So I gave her ex-GF's info, and she forwards ex-GF the following information: lease, the screenshots of the texts, and phone logs of Snake blowing up C's phone in the middle of the night and leaving texts saying how he wants to get back together with her. Some highlights include Snake telling C he had hoped to live in a mansion in the future where A, B, C, D could live together under one roof and get along. This man was trying to amass a harem and wanted to add my ex-GF to the collection. Instead of thanking C, my ex-GF calls her up to badmouth me, telling her to stop hanging out with me and that I'm a bad person. Apparently, Snake told my ex-GF that he still had to periodically check on C to make sure she was going through the breakup alright, and to ease her pain. He has previously stated that he maintains close friendships with all his exes and treats them to dinners once in a while, and that all his exes wanted to get back together with him. Some extra tidbits about Snake. Snake has made inappropriate sexual advances on the wife of one of True Bro's best friend when he was still with D. The D and the wife are best friends, so he was blatantly making a move on the wife while D was in the house. This transgression was swept under the rug as a one-time isolated incident. He has also had a history of making moves on other married women. He keeps nude pictures of his exes, particularly of ex-GFA, on a password-encrypted hard drive that he views every so often. I ask him why he still views them. Was she the one that got away? His response: "No, nothing of that sort. A is the same age as us. I don't want a 30s woman, she's old and washed up now." He goes on to say that he's merely admiring the pinnacle of the female physique in her 18-year-old prime when they first got together in college. He said she was his greatest conquest, and he's never going to be able to tap the ass of another 18-year-old, so he enjoys this body of art. Snake pays for prostitutes everywhere he goes. He has tried to get me to lose my virginity on my 30th birthday to one, but I turned him down after he brought me to the brothel. The conclusion is that XGF and Snake are both lost causes and deserve each other. May they enter a relationship of mutual assured destruction. After that incident, the rest are pretty mundane. Apparently C's birthday is also in April with my XGF. He called C up and left a voicemail wishing her a happy birthday. Meanwhile, XGF called C up as well to continue telling her to get a hold of me to clear up some unfinished business. I find the fact that both of them are reaching out to C hilarious and insane. Fast forward to today, I'm at a point of pretty much indifference now. If they break up, that's cool. If they don't, that's also great, at least they won't drag down any new victims. They're both pathetic, and what everyone has told me from a year ago all came true. Time is the healer of all wounds, and I simply stopped caring about them, and I'm much happier for it. I can't promise if I run into Snake on the streets that I won't buckle under the emotions and go fuck him up, but luckily I haven't seen him since. Otherwise, life's been good, and from being a 31-year-old virgin to having the ultimate crash course in heartbreak, betrayal, cheating, and everything under the hood in 2.5 years, dealing with sociopaths, narcissists, I couldn't have asked for a better lesson, as it left me with nothing but positives. I've never gotten married, no kids, no STDs, still able-bodied, didn't lose money, exposed a 20-plus-year-old backstabbing Snake that was hiding a dagger behind his back the entire time. I dived into books about human psychology, relationships, self-help, self-improvement topics, and watched countless videos and podcasts on all these subjects. It's opened my eyes, and I am that much wiser for it. Edit, another dark story that I've forgotten about and decided to just tack on here since it's pretty niche. If anyone has played Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's basically a video game on the Nintendo Switch where you own a small island that you can design the landscape to your liking, and other people can visit it and run around and do activities together. Long story short, XGF lived with me during the pandemic of March 2020, so when the game came out, us both were playing that as well as Snake. We would always laugh and poke fun at Snake for him making a female avatar with long black hair. For as much as he plays, he's surprisingly ignorant on the game mechanics when we play together. However, he still managed to make his island into a 5* rated resort. It's an in-game rating system, highest level. Come to find out, it's because it was his XGFC who was playing the game the entire time. Anytime we would ask him to co-op, whether to visit his island or ask him to visit us, he would then grab the Switch from C and then play with us. I just found this revelation extremely unsettling and is a chilling example of just how cold and calculated this monster is.